Okay, for today's bowel work, we need to find the surface area of a square pyramid that has a slant height of 8 centimeters and a base length of 5 centimeters. So whenever we have pyramids, we're using the surface area formula. SA equals 1/2 times our perimeter times the slant height plus the area of the base. If it helps, you can draw a picture of your base. We know the base is a square and it has a length of 5 centimeters. So each one of the sides of the square is 5 centimeters. When we find the perimeter, we're adding 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, or 5 times 4, which gives us 20. Our slant height, they tell us, is 8 centimeters, and our area of the base will be base times height, which is 5 times 5, which equals 25. You can go ahead and plug those values into your surface area formula. 1/2 times 20 times 8 plus 25. 1/2 of 20 is 10. 10 times 8 gives us 80, and we have to add in 25. 80 plus 25 equals 105. Our units are centimeters, and since we are finding surface area, it's centimeters squared. Okay, today's lesson is on volume of pyramids. Our targets for today: students will be able to identify three-dimensional shapes and calculate the volume of pyramids. So, for volume of pyramids, every single pyramid has the volume formula. V equals 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. If you have a square or a rectangular pyramid, your capital B is just length times width, so you can solve your volume by doing length times width times height divided by 3, or 1/3 length times width times height. If you have a triangle base to your pyramid, your area of the base is 1/2 length times width. So if you have 1/2 and 1/3, and you multiply those together, 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6. You get the volume formula of length times width times height divided by 6, or 1/6 length times width times height. Sometimes you will need to use the formula to find a missing height. When you're solving for height, you're going to use your knowledge of solving equations and solve for h. You plug in the values that you know and solve for your unknown, which in this case would be h. Okay, for our first example, we are finding the volume of a pyramid. And we have a pyramid, we know we're using 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. It has a height of 9 centimeters and a rectangular base with a length of 7 centimeters and a width of 3 centimeters. If you want to draw your shape of the base, we have a rectangle and it's 3 centimeters by 7 centimeters. When you find the area of the base, we're going to be multiplying 7 times 3, which gives us 21. And it tells us that the height of the pyramid is 9 centimeters, so we're going to use 9 for h. Plug them into your equation. 1/3 times 21 times 9. When you're multiplying with the fraction, 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3, or to plug 1/3 into your calculator, this fraction bar means to divide. You could do 1 divided by 3 and then multiply 21 and 29, or 21 and 9. When you multiply 21 times 9, you get 189, and if I put that over 3, we have to divide by 3. 189 divided by 3 gives us 63, and our units are centimeters, and volume is always units cubed. So we get 63 centimeters cubed, or cubic centimeters. For our next example, we have a triangular pyramid has a volume of 840 cubic inches. So they give us our volume, B equals 840. The triangular base, so we know we have a triangular base, has a base length of 20 inches. So right here would be 20 inches. And a height of 21 inches. So note this is 21 inches. We want to find the height of the pyramid. So we're using volume equals 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. And we're solving for h. If we look at our capital B, area of the base, we have to multiply 20 times 21 and divide by 2 since we have a triangle. 20 times 21 is 420, divided by 2 gives us 210, and we're going to plug in our known values. B we know is 840, bring down our 1/3, our area of the base is 210, and we're multiplying it by h. Okay, so we now have an equation where we're solving for h. We can combine these two right here, 1/3 times 210, or 210 divided by 3, which gives us 70. So 840 equals 70 times h. This leaves us with a one-step equation, so we can divide both sides by our coefficient, which is 70. 70 divided by 70 is 1. 1 times h gives us h. And 840 divided by 70 gives us 12. Since we were just solving for our height, it is 12 inches, and we do not need to put inches cubed because it's not volume. So for number 2, we found a height of 12 inches. Okay, for our next question, some of these are hard to see. This base is 23 yards, we have 14 yards, and the height is 25 yards. So if you wanted to try solving this one using our other method, volume equals 1/3 length times width times height. My length is 23. My width is 14. And my height is 25. So I'm going to multiply 23 times 14 times 25, and I get 8,050. I have to take that value and divide by 3, and I get 2,683.3 repeating. If we round that to the nearest tenth, one decimal place over, look to the right, it's going to round to 2,683.3. Our units are yards, and since it's volume, it's yards cubed. Okay, next question, we have another rectangular base pyramid. We can solve using either method. Anytime you have a pyramid, you're multiplying 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Our area of the base is length times width, or base times height of our bottom shape. So we're multiplying 1.8 and 2.2. When you multiply these two values together, you get 3.96. And our height is 2.9, so we can go ahead and plug those into our formula. Bring down our 1/3, capital B is 3.96, and our height is 2.9. If you multiply 3.96 times 2.9, you get 11.484, which we still have to divide by 3. And when you divide that value by 3, you get 3.828. Our units are centimeters cubed for volume. Okay, our next question, we have a word problem. The Transamerica Pyramid is a skyscraper in San Francisco. The rectangular base has a length of 175 feet and a width of 120 feet. So we have a rectangle 175 by 120, and we know that the height is 853 feet. We're going to find the volume of the building. So when I find my capital B, I know I'm multiplying length times width of my base. 175 times 120 175 times 120 gives us 21,000. So I plug that into my formula for pyramid. It's always 1/3 area of the base times the height. Bring down my 1/3, fill in my capital B, which is 21,000, and my height is 853. 21,000 times 853, and then divide by 3 to get 5,971,000, and our units are cubic feet or feet cubed. Okay, and for our last question, we are solving for our height of the pyramid. Volume is 1/3 area of the base times the height, and we have a rectangular pyramid. Our volume is given to us 525 cubic feet. We know that the base is a rectangle and our dimensions of the base are 25 and 18. So when we find our area of the base, we multiply 18 by 25. 18 times 25 gives us 450. And now we can plug in our known values into the formula. Volume equals 525. Bring down my 1/3. Area of the base is 450, and our height is unknown. I'm going to bring down 525. I can multiply 1/3 times 450, which is the same as 450 divided by 3, and I get 150H. Now we have a one-step equation. So we have 150 times H. We want to do the opposite of multiply, which is divide. We're dividing by our coefficient. This cancels. 525 divided by 150 gives us 3.5 equal to H. So we know that the height is 3.5 and our unit is feet. Okay, your homework is page 657, numbers 1 through 2, and also number 5.